Okay, so you're ready to explore Cardano liquid staking. The goal? Well, optimize your profits, obviously, but also keep those risks firmly at bay. But how do you navigate this landscape? There are so many pools, so many platforms, it can feel a bit overwhelming. Our mission for this deep dive is to give you a clear, actionable roadmap to really understand, evaluate, and leverage Cardano's unique approach here.
Exactly. We'll unpack what makes Cardano's native liquid staking really different from, say, other blockchains. Make sure you grasp those core advantages. Then, yeah, we'll guide you through the essential steps for securely setting up your ledger stacks with your Eternal wallet. That's crucial. After that, we'll arm you with the critical metrics, how to pick the best staking pools, maximize returns, support the network. And finally, we'll dive into the really exciting stuff, the world of dApps and protocols. Show you how to put those liquid tokens to work for even more opportunities.
Right. And this isn't just theory, is it? We're talking practical, actionable insights you can use, like right now. Prepare for maybe a few aha moments in how you approach Cardano staking. So let's dive right in. Okay, so when most people think about staking, they often imagine locking their assets away, right? Can't touch them for a while, that's traditional staking. But liquid staking changes the game. Instead of freezing assets, you usually get a derivative token back, like a sort of digital receipt. And this token represents your stake, but you can actually use it, trade it, lend it, use it as collateral, all while the underlying assets are still earning rewards.
Yeah, that's the general idea on many chains. But what's truly fascinating, and this is a critical distinction for Cardano, is that it has native liquid staking. So this isn't really about derivative tokens in the same way. Your actual ADA, your Cardano coin, it's never locked up. It's never frozen. It stays completely liquid, meaning you can sell it, spend it, move it whenever you want, even while it's actively earning those staking rewards. This is fundamental to the design, driven by Cardano's EUT-XO model. Your ADA remains a first-class citizen, fully liquid.
Wow. Okay, that's like a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Especially when we think about risk. If your funds aren't locked, does that mean they're just inherently safer?
It's a great question, and yes, it points to a really significant benefit. Cardano's no slashing policy. Your principal ADA stake, the actual coins you hold, is never at risk of being taken or slashed by the network, even if a stake pool messes up, goes offline, or acts maliciously. The only, let's call it punishment for a badly performing pool is a reduction in the rewards it gets to distribute, which, creates this economic incentive for delegators to simply move their stake to better, more reliable pools. So this design makes Cardano staking nearly risk-free in terms of losing your initial capital, which is, frankly, a massive comfort for long-term holders.
Right. And because your ADE stays liquid while staked, that unlocks this unique opportunity you mentioned on Cardano, the double dipping, earning on two fronts at once. That sounds incredibly powerful.
It absolutely is. And, with great power comes the need for great security. So before we dive deeper into those double dipping strategies, let's just make sure your foundation is rock solid. Securing your funds with a hardware wallet like Ledger. It's paramount for cold storage. Your funds are offline. It's an essential layer of protection, especially if you're serious about holding crypto long term.
Okay, makes sense. So for the specific setup, we're talking about connecting an Eternal wallet to a Ledger Stacks. Walk us through that. How straightforward is it? First, I guess you need the Ledger Stacks itself set up.
Through Ledger Live.
Exactly. First step, download the Ledger Live application from their official site, ledger.com, so we'll start. Connect your Ledger Stacks, go through the first time setup. This is where you generate that crucial 24-word recovery phrase. Do this in a private offline setting. Write it down carefully, store it securely, never ever online, and set your device PIN. And critically, use Ledger Live itself to verify your device is genuine. Don't skip that. Also, make sure Ledger Live and your Stacks firmware are both updated to the latest versions. That's your baseline security. Okay, got the Ledger initialized and updated. What's next?
All right. Now, use the Ledger Live Manager section. Find the Cardano application and install it onto your Ledger Stacks device. It's usually just a quick click.
Simple enough. So, Cardano app is on the Ledger. Now, how do we bridge that to the Eternal Wallet extension?
Okay. Open your Eternal Wallet Chrome extension. Within Eternal, you'll see an option like Add Wallet or Connect Hardware Wallet. Initiate that process. It'll prompt you to unlock your Ledger Stacks, enter your PIN, and then open the Cardano application on the device itself. Eternal should then detect your ledger. You can give it a friendly name, maybe My Stacks 80 Wallet or something similar. And that's basically it. Your Ledger Stacks now secures the keys offline, while Eternal acts as the user-friendly interface for managing your stake and interacting with Cardano.
Perfect. Secure wallet setup, check.
Sure.
Now, the next big question. Cardano has, what, over 3,000 staking pools? How on earth do you pick the right one to maximize returns, support the network, all that good stuff? It feels a bit daunting.
It can seem that way, but yeah, there are clear metrics to guide you. Let's break down the key ones. First up, return on stake, or ROS, sometimes called ROA, return on ADA. This is basically your expected annual return. Now, most pools offer pretty similar ROS, generally somewhere between, say, 3.5% and 5% as of mid-2024. Be a bit wary of pools promising wildly higher returns. Consistent, modest returns are usually more sustainable and realistic.
Okay, so ROS is the baseline. But the biggest pool isn't necessarily the best, right? You mentioned something important there earlier.
Exactly. And this leads to a really critical insight, something many people overlook: pool saturation. Think of it like a popular restaurant, right? Once it gets too crowded, the service suffers for everyone. It's similar with Cardano pools. Once a pool hits a certain size right now that's around 30 to 32 million ADA staked, adding more stake actually starts diluting your rewards. The pool gets less efficient relative to its size. So you should actively avoid pools that are over, say, 60% saturated. Don't just chase the biggest ones. Supporting those mid-sized, well-managed pools, it not only helps decentralize the network, making it more robust overall, but it's often smarter for your wallet, too. You get more optimal rewards.
That's a fantastic tip, a real game changer for picking tools. Okay, what about the costs, the fees involved?
Right, pool fees. There are two parts here. First, there's a fixed fee. It's a minimum of 340 ADA per epoch. That's roughly every 5 days. This gets deducted from the pool's total rewards before anything is distributed to delegators like you. It's a standard network fee, helps cover operator costs. Then there's the variable margin fee. This is a percentage set by the pool operator themselves. It typically ranges from 0% up to maybe 5% for most public pools. Just be careful, avoid pools with a 100% variable fee. Those are usually private pools. They don't distribute rewards to the public. So it's about finding a balance, you know? Low fees are attractive, but not if the pool isn't performing consistently.
Makes sense. Balance fees with performance. So beyond fees and size, how do we gauge a pool's reliability, its performance?
Good question. That's where the luck metric comes in handy. Now, luck sounds a bit random, but it's really a composite percentage indicating how consistently a pool mints the blocks it's assigned by the network protocol. A figure closer to 100% means the pool is reliably online, its servers are running smoothly, it's doing its job, and that leads to higher, more consistent returns for you. If you see a pool with a luck metric significantly below, say, 95% over time, that might suggest some unreliability issues. And finally, don't underestimate the pool operator reputation and communication. Look for transparency. Do they have a website? Are they active on social media? Do they communicate updates? A proven track record and active community engagement are good signs. Operators who contribute to the Cardano ecosystem, maybe run educational content or build tools, often indicate a well-managed, trustworthy pool. And, if it matters to you personally, many pools also support specific missions and values, like charities or eco-friendly operations. Cardano Cafe, for instance, is part of the Climate Neutral Cardano Alliance, running on green energy.
That's a lot of great metrics. But practically speaking, where do you go to find all this information and compare pools easily?
Yeah, you definitely need tools for this. The go-to comparison websites are adiapools.org and pooltool.io. You absolutely should use them. They provide all these detailed metrics we've discussed: performance history, saturation levels, fees, lifetime luck, block production records, all the data you need to make an informed choice.
Excellent. And just to give people a starting point, maybe some names that came up in our research as consistently reliable.
Sure. Some pools often cited for good performance and reputation include Cardanians.io. They're known for stability and community involvement. Cardano Cafe, as mentioned, high performance, green energy focus. Spire Staking is another established one. Consistent performance, often has low margin fees. Nordic Pool, large, community-driven, also eco-friendly, has some partnerships like with SundaySwap. And Adavault, they offer a modern, user-friendly approach with competitive yields. But remember, these are just examples. Do your own research using those tools and metrics we talked about.
Great starting points, though. Okay, so we've secured our ADA, pick a great pool. Now let's get back to that double-dipping idea, leveraging the liquid ADA.
Right. This is where the true power of Cardano's native liquid staking really shines. Because your ADA is always liquid, many Cardano DeFi protocols' decentralized finance applications are designed to automatically stake the underlying liquidity pools. What this means for you is you can earn both your standard ADA staking rewards from the pool you delegated to and additional DeFi yields from participating in these protocols simultaneously. Often, you don't even need a separate derivative token like on some other chains. It streamlines the whole process and really amplifies your earning potential.
Okay, that is a game changer. So what's your staking? ADA is liquid. What are some of the most reliable, maybe profitable dApps and protocols where you can put that liquid EDA to work? Where should people start looking?
All right, you've got several key categories to explore. First up, decentralized exchanges, or DEXs. These are platforms for swapping Cardano native tokens, providing liquidity to trading pairs, and earning a share of the trading fees. Now, when you dive into DEXs, you'll hear terms like CLMM and AMM. They work a bit differently. For instance, Genus Yield uses a concentrated liquidity market maker, CLMM model. This lets you be more precise about where your liquidity sits within a price range, potentially earning you more fees if you get it right. It's a bit more active management. Others, like Wingriders and SundaySwap, use the more traditional automated market maker AM approach. This is often simply for general swaps and providing broader token support. MinSwap is another excellent AMM known for having multiple liquidity pool algorithms and some good guides on yield farming strategies. And then you have MuesliSwap, which offers an order book style DEX, more like a traditional exchange, supporting limit orders alongside swaps. So understanding these differences helps you pick the right tool for your trading or liquidity providing strategy. There are others too, like MilkySwap, BinetDEX, DataSwap. The ecosystem's growing fast.
Lots of options for trading and liquidity. What about other financial services, like earning interest or borrowing against your ADA?
Yeah, the next major category is lending and borrowing platforms. Here, you can use your liquid ADA as collateral to take out loans, maybe in stablecoins, or you can lend out your ADA to others and earn interest on it. Liquid Finance is probably the most prominent name here. It's a DeFi protocol specifically for lending and borrowing on Cardano, offering some attractive yield opportunities. It's definitely a popular choice for earning extra yield. Other platforms mentioned include LendFi and Levy, but, and this is really important, always exercise caution. While liquid finance is widely used and many have good experiences, one source we looked at did mention a user having a negative support interaction that apparently led to a wallet issue. Now, others defended Liquid, saying they've had great experiences, but this just perfectly highlights the critical importance of doing your own due diligence. Always be extremely cautious with any DeFi interaction. Even within a generally secure ecosystem like Cardano, your research, your understanding, and your risk assessment are paramount.
Absolutely. Due diligence cannot be stressed enough in DeFi. Okay, what about stablecoins? Are there reliable options for holding stable value within the Cardano ecosystem?
Yes, definitely. For stable value propositions, you've got a couple of key players. There's DGED. It's an algorithmic, crypto-backed stablecoin, quite sophisticated, developed by IOG and eMorgo, and issued by CoTI. And then there's Mehen. This is a Cardano native stablecoin that aims to be backed one-to-one by US dollar-denominated assets held in reserve, more traditional backing. There are others mentioned too, like AdaDAO and Ansons, but DGED and Mehen are probably the most prominent right now.
Okay. And any other particularly useful apps or tools people should be aware of, maybe for research or just general utility?
Oh, for sure. A really essential one is TapTools. It's a leading analytics platform. You can use it to track Cardano native tokens, market trends, liquidity, even see what whale wallets are doing. Invaluable for research. For digital identity solutions, there's IAMX. They provide self-sovereign identity tools, which could streamline things like know your customer KYC processes securely using reusable credentials. Then there's BlockSign, which is interesting. It brings legally binding digital document signing onto the blockchain, ensuring tamper-proof verification. And DripDrops is a popular dApp, mainly used for claiming airdrops of new tokens that often get distributed to ADI holders or stakers. Now, when you're evaluating any of these dApps, remember the best project really depends on your specific needs and risk tolerance. Don't just chase hype. Look beyond popularity. Does it align with your goals? Is the team transparent? And thinking about security again, it's worth knowing that Cardano does have guidelines like CIP 52 for dApp audits. There are specialized companies like FYEO Inc., MLabs, Runtime Verification, and Certic that perform these audits. While our sources didn't explicitly link every dApp mentioned to a specific audit report, just knowing that auditing is a recognized best practice on Cardano is important for your security considerations when choosing where to interact.
Right. It's good to know that framework exists. Okay, let's maybe step back for a moment and put Cardano's liquid staking into the bigger picture. Touch on the foundational design that makes all of this possible.
Sure. Cardano's core design choices really provide several profound advantages that directly support this unique staking model. Its EUTXO model, the extended unspent transaction output model, combined with native assets is key. This prevents state bloat, which can clog other blockchains, and it treats assets like your ADA as first-class citizens. They're inherently liquid, efficient, and often much cheaper to transact with compared to smart contract-based tokens on other chains. The network is also designed for high decentralization. It's relatively easy to verify the blockchain, and you can run nodes on fairly lightweight hardware, which encourages broad participation. It also boasts strong tokenomics, a limited supply, a low, near zero inflation rate eventually, and a significant treasury or development fund fueled by transaction fees that supports ongoing ecosystem growth. And fundamentally, its consensus mechanism, Ouroboros, is built for robustness. It's designed for liveness and resilience, meaning the network aims to keep operating even if a significant portion of nodes go offline temporarily.
That all sounds very positive. But, every system has its trade-offs, right? What are some of the commonly discussed nuances or maybe perceived disadvantages of Cardano?
Absolutely, it's important to look at both sides. While the design is robust, some perceived drawbacks exist, often with strong counter-arguments or ongoing development work. For instance, speed and finality. Cardano uses probabilistic finality, meaning certainty increases over time. This might feel slower than some chains using different consensus mechanisms, like BFT-based ones that offer near-instant finality. However, this is a deliberate design choice. It prioritizes enhanced robustness and liveness, the ability to keep running even under attack or a network disruption over raw, instantaneous speed. Then there's throughput, usually measured in transactions per second, or TPS. Currently, Cardano's TPS for complex smart contract transactions is lower than some competitors, maybe around 1 to 7 TPS observed in practice for complex stuff. But Cardano's roadmap includes significant scaling solutions, things like pipelining, input endorsers, Plutus script optimizations, and Hydra. Hydra isn't just one thing, it's a whole family of Layer 2 scaling protocols designed to vastly increase capacity as network demand grows. Another point sometimes raised is concurrency. The EUTXO model can limit how many users interact with the same smart contract state within a single block. This means complex dApps often use off-chain components, like sequencers, to manage concurrent requests. However, solutions like batching transactions are being developed to improve this on-chain. And it's also important to remember Cardano's fundamental design goal wasn't necessarily to be a world computer handling everything simultaneously, but rather a highly secure, decentralized ledger.
Okay, and what about that no slashing policy we talked about earlier? We framed it as a user benefit, which it definitely is. But from a network security perspective, doesn't it remove a major stick? Compared to chains where bad actors could lose their entire stake.
That's a really valid point, and it's a nuanced debate. Yes, from a purely punitive standpoint, lacking slashing might seem like it reduces the disincentive for pool operators to misbehave. Your principal is safe, which is great for you as a user. However, Cardano's system relies heavily on economic incentives and delegation dynamics. The reward-sharing mechanism and the sheer flexibility delegators have to move their stake instantly are designed to economically incentivize good behavior and heavily penalize poor performance. If a pool starts acting up or just becomes unreliable, delegators will notice reduced rewards and simply leave. That pool quickly loses its stake, its influence, and its income. So the economic penalty is swift and driven by the community itself. And finally, you sometimes hear the critique that Cardano spent so long on research it was untested by actual users for a while, implying it might lack real-world experience to handle things like MEV, maximal extractable value. But Cardano's foundational design, with its more deterministic block production, is arguably inherently more resistant to certain types of MEV compared to more complex world computer blockchains. And furthermore, the network's clear growth trajectory and activity, total value locked, TVL, and DeFi, and user adoption definitely demonstrates significant real-world validation and experience now.
Okay, that provides excellent context. Now let's bring it all together. Let's give listeners those precise, actionable steps for their journey into Cardano liquid staking.
Absolutely. Let's make it super practical. First, for evaluating and selecting the best liquid staking pool for you, Step 1. Secure your foundation. Make absolutely sure your Ledger Stacks is fully set up via Ledger Live, firmware updated, and properly connected to your Eternal wallet while it's synced and ready. Step 2. Research smartly. Open up those comparison websites, adpools.org or pooltool.io in your browser. Step 3. Apply your criteria. Use those metrics we discussed. Filter or sort by. Consistent competitive ROS, aiming for that 3.55% range. Check saturation, prioritize pools below 60%, ideally even lower, maybe in that 30-32 million ADA sweet spot to maximize rewards and support decentralization. Review the fees, note the standard 340 ADA fixed fee, and look for a reasonable variable margin, typically 0.5%. Examine the luck metric and uptime history, choose pools showing consistency near 100%. And research the pool operator. Look for transparency, communication, maybe a mission you align with. Step 4, delegate your ADA. ADA. Within your Eternal wallet, find the delegation or staking section. Search for your chosen pool by its name or ticker symbol. Confirm the delegation. There's usually a small, refundable 2 ADA deposit required to register your staking key the first time. And boom, your ADA is now delegated, earning rewards, and importantly, it remains completely liquid in your wallet.
That's a crystal clear path to finding and delegating to the right pool. Fantastic. Now, what about the next phase, leveraging those liquid tokens in DeFi? Precise steps there.
Right. For evaluating and selecting the best ways to use your liquid tokens. Step 1. Define your DeFi goal. What are you actually trying to achieve? Do you want to swap tokens frequently? Earn yield by providing liquidity? Lend out your ADA for interest, borrow against it, or explore stablecoins? Be clear on your objective. Step 2. Explore the ecosystem. Start browsing lists of Cardano dApps. You can use resources like Cardano Cube or DeFi Llama, filtering for Cardano. Focus initially on categories that match your goal DXs, lending platforms, stablecoin protocols. Start with the more established names we mentioned: Wingriders, SundaySwap, MinSwap, Genius Yield for DEXs, Liquid Finance for lending, and understand their specific features, like AMM versus CLMM. Step 3. Perform thorough due diligence. This is critical. For each dApp you're seriously considering, confirm that double-dipping potential, if that's your aim. Does the protocol automatically stake its liquidity pools? Assess its specific functionality. How does it work? What are the risks involved? Understand its fee structure clearly. And critically, check its community sentiment and reputation. Look for transparency from the dev team. Search for any available security assessments or audits, remembering our earlier caveat about needing to verify. Remember that point about caution. Amplify it here. Step 4. Connect and interact. Only once you feel confident after your research, connect your Eternal wallet, ideally the one linked to your ledger, to the chosen dApp and begin carefully leveraging your liquid ADA according to your plan. Start small if you're unsure.
Excellent breakdown. We've really covered the ground here, haven't we? From the foundational concepts of Cardano's unique native liquid staking, through the practical steps of setting up a secure wallet with Ledger and Eternal, identifying the best pools, all the way to the exciting possibilities of leveraging that liquid ADA across a vibrant DeFi ecosystem.
Yeah, I think Cardano's approach here is genuinely empowering for users. It offers this really compelling blend of security with the no-slashing inherent liquidity and diverse earning potential that you just don't often see combined so effectively in the crypto space. It's quite unique.
Absolutely. So as you, our listener, step into this world armed with this knowledge to optimize profits and minimize risks with your liquid ADA, maybe consider this final thought. How might Cardano's unique blend of built-in liquidity, that risk-mitigated staking, and this growing ecosystem of DeFi opportunities actually redefine what we think of as passive income in the decentralized future? Something to ponder.